name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. Tonight I have a very special guest. He is the father of digital artistry. Is that correct? And his name is Laurence Gartel. Welcome to the show.
Oh, nice to be with you, Alan.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to you in 51 years.
It's crazy, right? I was thinking about that.
That's crazy.
You know, one of the good things about having this show now and, the pandemic is that I'm able to, like, I lived in California for a bunch of years, so I had a couple of people from that, when I lived in California on the show, and I haven't been able to have them on the show because they never come to the East. And it's, anyway, it's great to have you on the show.
It's great to talk to you. And, I have such memories of you with that pith helmet on. And you were such a tough mother. I tell you, you were a tough kid.
Yeah.
You were strong. You were really, really strong. And I remember your bunk. I remember with Steve Glazer. What a thing. 50 years ago.
Yeah, that was, we're talking Camp 3 right now, right?
Camp 3.
Right.
You were in bunk 1 at the top.
Right.
Tommy just came out, and I didn't even know what Tommy was, the pinball wizard. We were all like in wow, and that was the summer of Woodstock.
Right.
What an amazing time to be alive.
Yeah, I remember that summer also my dad got shot, by the way. My father's 105 years old. He was shot June 23rd, 1969. And
I didn't know that.
It was
How?
The summer,
what?
It was the summer of 69. He survived. He's 105 years old now. But I still went to camp, and my two roommates, we had a triple, were Paul Marcus and Steve Glazer.
Oh, my God. Paul Marcus.
Yeah.
I see them both.
I'm sorry?
In my mind's eye, I see both of them.
Right.
Completely. Yep. And Annie and Peter, and
Right.
unfortunately Annie passed, which is terrible.
Right.
At 54 years old. And what an amazing time, man.
Yeah, my counselor, I can't believe I remember, his name was Jamal, and he was very friendly with a lot of the CITs and female counselors. So we'd always hear noises because our room was right next to the counselor's room. So he had a good time that summer. That's all I can say. So,
wow.
So did you ever think you'd make it to be the star that you are when you were in camp and Bronx House?
Well, I was always an artist.
Right.
And I went to the High School of Music and Art, and we had a counselor, Alan, who was in work camp.
Wow.
And he said, you should go to the School of Visual Arts. And I went. And it's a funny thing because my cousin went there for sculpture.
Right.
And from the High School of Music and Art, I went to visit School of Visual Arts down in the basement. I said, listen, I have this girl. I have a crush on her. I don't know what to do. And he said, listen, come and get 2 joints for me, one blue and one pink. And, she's going to love it. And he was surrounded by 5 beautiful girls. And I was like, oh, my God, this is school? I have to go here.
That's so awesome.
I mean, what a reason, right? So I went back the next year, and I said, Lloyd, it's all guys here. What happened to all the girls? He goes, oh, please, that was the only 5 girls in the whole school.
Wow. So there was mostly guys that went to music and art? I didn't know
went to School of Visual Arts.
Oh, School of Visual Arts, right.
Yes, for college, after I graduated. No, High School Music and Art was absolutely out of control. It was right next to CCNY.
Right.
And we used to cut classes and go see Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
And, the assistant principal was the twin brother to Kosakov.
Wow.
Who ran camp. at the
Crazy.
time. 70, 1970.
What was the last summer that you were at Bronx House?
I was there in 1972. I was in work camp.
Yeah, I was in work camp in 1970, and that was my last summer. Yeah.
1970, right. Well, they didn't accept me to be a counselor, which
You
I
and I
used to
both.
get.
I wonder why.
We don't need to wonder anymore. Back then, maybe, but not now.
Right.
I was not invited back. That's all I
Aaron
can say.
Matrani didn't invite me back either. Mr. Matrani did not want me to become. My brother was a counselor there, but he didn't want me to be a counselor.
Who was your brother? I don't recall.
Well, he was in Camp 2, and he was 6 years older than me. His name is David Bendich, and
David Bendich.
yeah, but again, he was. I mean, Dale knew David and Dale Shifter, and
Yeah, Dale Shifter, of course.
yeah.
Oh
and
my
I think
God.
her sister might have been a camper with my brother, because my brother was in work camp. He started in work camp, I think, and then he just became a counselor, and it was like he had a good life.
Wow.
He's still around though.
Wow.
He enjoyed
God
camp.
bless.
That's
Well,
it.
listen, your father, 105. I must tell you,
Yeah.
Alan, I have a friend, Bobby. I've known him for 40 years. His mother is turning 99. And
Right.
she says, do you have a good man for me? I said, funny enough, I do. He's 105.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, where does he live? Is he in a nursing home? I said, no, he drives. He's fabulous. He goes on vacation. I said, I'll get the details for you.
Well, my father actually is in an assisted living facility now, but he came here with my mom 10 years ago. I mean, to that place 10 years ago, and she passed away, but he continued to live, and he started dating. He's had like several girlfriends at the place. Unfortunately, they all die, and he keeps on living. So it's interesting. And his motto is "Life is good." He's been a progressive all his life. He was
Wow.
He went to Kinderland. Do you know anything about Kinderland? That was like the real leftist camp. And when he was
No.
it was basically like the Rosenberg's kids. Their kids went to Kinderland, and that's what.
Wow.
So
wow.
So you're a fantastic artist, and I love your art. And I was able to figure out some of the stuff of how to put. Can I put some of it up, and you could talk to it?
By all means.
Okay.
By all means.
Tell me if it works though, because again, this is the third episode I've done. I never did Zoom before, so I'm going to see if it works. Hold on one second. Let's see. I want to start.
Sharing screen. Has started sharing screen. It says.
Tell me if you see it. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, can you tell us about this?
Sure, I can. So basically, I'll start like this. In 1985,
right,
I taught Andy Warhol how to use the Amiga computer to make Debbie Harry's album cover. And we met at Studio 54. We struck up a conversation, and he said, come over to the studio. Now, interestingly enough, and this is something you might know, my dear oldest friend from at 7 years old, Nina Robbins, went
I don't know her.
You don't know Nina?
Don't know her. No.
Okay.
Was she a camper? Nina
was a camper, and she had an older sister and her younger brother, and they all went to camp. And she went to camp like all the years. So she was friends with Ann Marcus, and anyway. So I guess I went to Studio 54 with her. She was a very attractive girl, and that's how I got in, by going with her. And we were friends forever. And anyway, so I taught Andy how to use the computer, but in 1991, they commissioned me to create the first digital art Absolut ad for Absolut vodka.
Wow.
So that is what you're looking at. I actually have a magazine in my hand. I don't know how fast we want to change the screen, but I have the cover of Wired magazine, 1994.
Okay.
And here's the cover.
Wow.
Beautiful. And this is on Wired magazine. Laurie Anderson on the cover, and the Absolut ad on the back.
So what was that like? I mean, when the world was looking at that ad? What was it like?
Well, it was like you were a superstar.
I know.
You made it. You went to the top. You were there with Andy and Keith Haring and Armand, the sculptor. I don't know which ad I was, like number 7 or number 8. It was like one of the early ones.
Yes.
And they never saw anything like that before. And the interesting thing about that ad was that it was 900K,
Wow.
which means it was less than a megabyte.
Right.
And all these conferences were about resolution and big files and all this. And they went, how is it that you have this little teeny file and yet this is like the most famous ad? I said, what does resolution have to do with art?
Right.
So that was really sort of a groundbreaking thing for me to say. And, you know, I have to tell you, it comes from my very rebellious years at camp to even come up with a statement like that, you know?
But I sometimes even I've seen digital stuff that looks a little blurry, and that even is even more,
it's pixelated.
Attractive. Yeah.
It's pixelated.
Pixelated. That's it. It's beautiful.
You know?
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. And so, you know, from there, but that was 1991. I have something here I wanted to show you.
Okay.
I have a cover from 1981,
Oh
10 years earlier.
Wow. What type of computer did you use then, back in 81?
Well, that's a very interesting question, so I'm going to tell you. Basically, there was something called the Video Palette 1. It was at a place called Digital Effects, and they made the movie Tron on that system.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah, Disney's Tron was made on this machine. It was like the first computer animation full-length feature film ever made. And this cover was made on that machine.
Unbelievable.
So
that is so awesome.
Thank you, Alan. So, you know, the other thing that I have, and then we could talk about what you have, is, of course, the famous Grammy statue.
I have a picture of you and 3 guys. I took a picture of that as well, but I have that coming with the pictures.
Okay.
That was beautiful. What was that like? I mean, you met everyone. I mean,
I met everybody there. I was there. I was there with everybody. I was on the red carpet. I had Madonna in front of me, John Legend behind me. And I was thinking, my God, there are 30,000 of the world's greatest musicians, entertainers, performers in the world.
Right.
And 1 visual artist.
That's it, man.
Myself. So it was very exciting, humbling, wonderful, magical, and it all happened too quick. It all just happened.
But you've traveled the world. You've met everyone.
Yes.
Your art is name some of the museums that your art has been in.
Well, it's the Museum of Modern Art, the Long Beach Museum of California, the Victoria and Albert Museum in London. I've spoken at the Soros Foundation in Moscow. I've spoken at the keynote speech at the first Pan-Pacific Computer Conference in Melbourne, Australia. You know, unfortunately, Alan, unlike your father, my parents died very, very young.
I'm sorry. Very sorry.
They were 63 and 64, and guess what? I'm turning 64.
Right.
To think that my dad was sick for 20 years before he died, which meant he was sick like when he was 40,
right,
is terrible.
It's
so,
crazy.
You know, the lesson, honestly, is to enjoy your life, love people, see adventures. You know, money doesn't really make happiness. So, you know, it's really about respecting other people. And I think that took a long time to learn, Alan, to appreciate everyone else and not be such a wise guy.
You seem like a mellow dude. You seem like an extremely mellow person at this point.
Well, you're right. We've been like cooped up for 3 months.
I know, it's crazy. This is crazy stuff.
This is like the Twilight Zone.
Right.
So I escaped. I went to Naples the other day. Everything's open. Restaurants are open. You know, the beaches are open, the pools are open. We went to a hotel, we relaxed. I got to tell you, so I'm pretty mellow based on the fact that there's no hustle.
That's it.
You
Well,
know,
it's not so bad to be mellow. Mellow's not so bad.
well, I definitely mellowed out, Alan, after all these years, I have to say.
I'm going to share the screen for some more of your art, if that's okay.
Please.
Sugar, milk, and cream for Ben and Jerry's.
Yes,
This is Ben and
that's
Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's up in Vermont. That's right. So
that's beautiful.
So I started making art cars in 2010.
Right.
The first car I made was for Elon Musk, commissioned me to do the first Tesla electric roadster.
Wow.
And that was in 2010. And 2012, I was invited to go on something called the Fireball Run Race, which raises awareness and money for missing children.
Wow.
So this is what's all over, stamped on my car with decals.
Yes.
And I figured, you know what? I'm going to make my own car. That's a Chrysler 300.
Right.
And so we went from here to Ohio to Maine and back. And then I turned around and I drove up to New Hampshire. And then I went to Vermont to do a project with Catamount Arts Association.
Right.
I drove up to the top of where Ben and Jerry was. And there I am.
I got some. Let me do some more. We got another one coming up. Who's this guy that you? I like.
Who do you think that is?
That's Dion, right?
It sure is.
That's it, man. That's an awesome picture.
Thank you so much. So that picture of Dion is he lives down here. He lives in South Florida.
Wow.
And we met, and he said, "Bring that car of yours." This is a 1956 Cadillac, which is his breakout year was 1956.
Wow.
So to see this car brought back all this memories to him, and it was very endearing, and we had a very great meeting, etc.
That's cool.
That's what that car is. And this car was actually the feature of the 113th New York International Auto Show.
Okay, I'm going to go. I got some others, so I'm going to go through it a little bit. How about this one?
Oh, my God, yeah. So that is a car commission for Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
To honor their, I believe it was their 13th millionth friend on Facebook.
Wow.
That's what that was.
Beautiful car. Okay, I like this little Sportster.
That's the Tesla. That's
Wow.
the 2010 Tesla.
That's
First car I
gorgeous.
ever made. Beautiful.
Nice. Beautiful.
0 to 60 in like 3.2 seconds, as fast as a Ferrari.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay.
This was a Cadillac created for General Motors during the Art Basel Fair in Miami. And this was during the Pulse Art Fair, which is like a satellite fair to the bigger Art Basel. That is my first book, called Laurence M. Gartel, The Cybernetic Romance, published by Gibbs Smith in 1989.
Wow.
1989 was a very special year because I created the first digital cover for Forbes magazine.
Wow.
First one ever.
Awesome.
And I also had a show at the Joan Whitney Payson Museum in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
And the significance of that was that I replaced Van Gogh's irises that were sold for $50 million to Sotheby's like the week before the show opened.
It's a hard act to follow, but you did.
I keep trying.
That's
trying,
it.
Alan.
Okay.
My God.
Okay, here's this one. Philip Morris.
Yes, Philip Morris had a project where they were introducing a new cigarette called Philip Morris Light American. And they commissioned 3 pieces. And the new cigarette had a blue crest and a red centerpiece. So the series was that. This is the future, past, present, and future. This represented the future with the spaceman. And the Light American, I was the Light American.
Cool.
So we went all around Germany,
Yeah.
throwing parties in every major city.
And that's 1997. Is that what that?
That's correct. Yes.
Wow. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. And here's 2016
Oh, that's
hip
good.
hop.
Hip hop. So the show is an exhibition of 100 pieces of Andy Warhol's and 100 pieces of mine, because the curator of the Lucca Museum in Italy felt that that was the touch point where pop art met digital art.
I mean,
And
you're a part of history that's going to live on and on and on, man. That's awesome.
that's the idea.
That is so cool, man.
Thank
Let's see
you.
what we got here. Oh, here's something. Another series. 2020 series.
This is brand new. This is
Right.
why I went to New York, Alan. I was just there in February. I dodged the coronavirus bullet.
Boy, you're lucky, dude.
I tell you something. So about the art first, I'm working with this company, and we made an art cube. It's like a Rubik's Cube, except it's even better.
Right.
And this is the same cube about 12 times put together to make this creation, this tower. It's just a cube. I have the cubes here to show you, by the way.
I think I have a couple more shots of this.
Go ahead.
Here's one with a bunch of people on stilts. Right.
The girls on the stilts promoting the product. Yep.
And I have one more, I think. Let's see. That one. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, so look at it. So there's like 6 cubes there to make a honeycomb, and it all starts with one cube. And we sold out. We sold 20,000 cubes at the New York Toy Fair.
Wow.
And
I think that's all I got, but you can keep on talking. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. So I have the cubes here to show you the prototypes and what the future is, because I believe that this is such a fantastic product. It was up for Toy of the Year, by the way, Alan.
Awesome.
I lost to Harry Potter. What can I tell you? The big corporate giant beat the little Goliath.
We've been talking on Facebook forever since I started since I started the Bronx House Camp.
Yes, thanks to you.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
But you were lucky. You went back to a couple of the reunions. Oh, let me look at the cube. Is that one of the cubes?
Yes. So this is the cube, and it opens up. It opens up.
Yes.
And you can make all sorts of shapes.
And each shape is a different, makes a different work of art? That's it?
Yeah, you can make different things. You can put it together. I have another one here. Hold on.
Okay. Wow.
So you just I can put one cube inside. Hold on. I'm fiddling around here, but can you see?
Yes. It's beautiful.
And then here's another one.
So as technology got better,
yes,
and you got older or whatever, the combination of both, did that help? I mean, there must have been like an evolution or something of
I'm sure there is, but I mean, the point of the cube, which I think is so fantastic, is that you don't have a headset. There's no augmented reality. There's no virtual reality. There's no batteries.
You don't have to use a computer. You don't
need a computer. Right. It's all in your hand. And art is always, don't touch. Right. This is about touching.
That's beautiful, man.
So look at this, Alan. This is what I want to show you that I have not shown to anyone. It's the first on the Alan Bendich show, okay?
Yeah.
Never before. So look, I'm showing this to you.
Okay.
This is called the Shishibo Artist Series. It is a limited edition 4-pack.
Oh, that's beautiful. My God.
And it's going to retail for only $250.
Right.
It comes with a certificate of authenticity and a little signed print, and it's all numbered, and you can't buy a single cube. You have to buy the 4-pack. It's not going to be sold separately.
Okay. You know, at the end of the show, we'll have how they can find it and where they can buy it.
Okay.
And we'll get that stuff. It'll be in the credits.
And here's the book.
Okay.
Look, Warhol versus Gartel hip hop.
Awesome.
Here's the 100 pieces of Andes, as I said. My work is in the sort of the back.
What was Andy like?
Very quiet. Very quiet guy. Didn't say too much. Just observed things. That's it. Here's my system, 1978.
Wow.
Look at that.
Unbelievable.
Knobs and buttons and wires and all sorts of things. This was at a place called the Experimental Television Center in Owego, New York, near Binghamton.
That's where I went to college, by the way, Binghamton.
At Binghamton?
Yeah.
The head of media taught there, and they built this center called the Experimental Television Center.
That's cool.
In like 1970, I don't know what year. I don't want to make any mistakes.
It's okay. So in the 70s, in the 1970s.
In the 70s, that'll do. Very good.
Works.
Right.
So what part of you're in Florida now, right?
I'm in Florida. I'm in South Florida, Boca.
Yeah. And you see my friend Glenn every now and then?
I see Glenn every now and then. Glenn went back to Ocala, I think, because he has a grandchild there now.
Yeah.
So I think he went back to Ocala, and Steve is there as well.
Yeah, I see him on Facebook all the time. I saw him in the city a couple of years ago. He stopped by. I was working at a place called Workman's Circle, which is another Jewish organization, and now I work for the Forward, which used to be a Jewish newspaper, but now it's a media. It's an online news media. Whatever. I'm their VP of finance. It's fun. But I'm going to be 65 on my next birthday, and I'm wondering how much longer I want to stop becoming a full-time actor. And it's interesting. Life has been good.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting, Alan. I mean, 65, we were 15, 14 years old. 50 years has passed by. 50 years.
But
it's half a century.
The journey's been good, though. The whole thing is, I mean, I look back, I was in Hollywood in the 80s. Can you imagine every step of the way how much, you got more and more audience? I mean, now you're a celebrity, but in the beginning, is it more fun being a celebrity now, or on the path towards celebrity? That's the question.
Well, it's nice to arrive at a certain, as I said to a friend of mine with the cubes, the guy that I'm working with on this.
Yes.
We reached a certain summit.
Right.
And that's important, to reach a certain level. Is it the highest level? No, it's not.
Right. Well, that's good, because that means you could still get to the highest level. So you're still on the path. You are still on the path.
I'm still working. I'm not retired. I don't think I'll ever retire.
Right.
And I want to bring you into the hallway.
Okay.
I live in a building that's all artists, by the way.
Beautiful.
Artist lofts. I want to show you something.
Okay.
God, I never locked my door.
We're going to have to do it quickly, though. That's the whole thing.
Okay, quick.
Okay.
Quick. So this is the wall of fame, Alan. So I don't know if we saw this, the Miami rail station. This is for the symphony.
Wow.
This is for Japan. This was in Istanbul.
Wow.
This was in India. This was fighting leukemia in California and San Francisco. I was in a film, Charlie the Three-Legged Dog. I was Charlie. What else? Here's my friend Nina again. This is at the Bari Fair in Italy last year. Venice.
Okay, you got to go a little bit faster.
Germany, South Florida. Here's the Grammy, official Grammy statue.
Yes, beautiful.
Design Electronica 1993. Here's the Naples International Film Festival. Here's the Monaco International Film Festival. Here is the Generative Art Conference in Rome. Tobacco Road, Italy.
Okay.
Punk rock.
I got to say it. I got to say it. I loved having you on the show, but there's only one thing left to say.
What do you want to say, Alan?
That's a wrap. Good night, folks.
Buddy. Thank you.
Okay. Be well.
Peace, Alan.
Love you, man. Take care. Peace.